Hello and welcome to a fireside chat with Kat, except it's summertime, so we are in the garden. You may hear the sprinkler running in the background, and that's because it is running behind where I'm filming. It has been a busy day. I've been in the garden. I was planting in some peppers and cilantro and basil, and also laying down wood chips back here where we're adding in new garden rows. So that's what I was up to today with my sons in particular. And there's also been road construction. Our road has not been paved since the 80s, and they're redoing it. So all day there is back and forth with the trucks and the beeping. And so this is the only time I have to make the video what sounds like for the next 2 weeks, because this road construction will be going on. But we're getting a really cool opportunity out of this road construction, which I will talk about in a future video. But today's topic is about all the naysayers, all the people who are going to tell you that it couldn't be done. And we're going to start out with a poem, and then I'm going to talk to you about all the times that people have told me or my husband, my family, that we just couldn't do what we wanted to do. And you're looking at a big chunk of what was said couldn't be done and is done now. So we're going to start out with this poem, and it's by Edgar A. Guest. Now, every morning my family starts out breakfast with a poem. It's part of our language arts for the kids, and we always read a poem from a book. And this is one that we have, the Family Book of Best Love Poems. It's an old one, and Edgar A. Guest is a poet that died, gosh, I think like 60 years ago now. So this is one that my husband read the other day, and he's like, "Oh, Kat, you have to read this on your channel." So here we go. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one has ever done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you, one by one, the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it. That is a great poem, and that basically sums up what we do here on our little farm. And I wanted to talk to you about that today, because we live in a culture and an era where we are constricted by fear. We are told we cannot think big, we cannot dream big, we cannot do big, because it just can't be done. It's shut up, sit down, smile, get back to work, do what's expected of you. And I want to let you know that if you find yourself wanting to be bigger, bolder, have passion in your life, that I got your back. Think of me as your flannel wearing cheerleader. And I'm going to explain to you how in my life we have done this successfully. We are doing it, and hopefully it can inspire you for whatever your dreams are, whatever your passions are, whatever your talents are, that you can do it. So 5 years ago in 2020, my husband James and we bought a rundown dump of an old chicken and potato farm in a ghost town in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. This is a copper mining region. So we paid $40,000 cash for about 3 acres of land with some barns on it. No mortgage, no debt. We moved our family of 5 at the time. We had 3 children under 5. I had just had a baby, and we moved all of our mechanical equipment, our farming supplies, our food processing equipment, and all of our household items, plus animals and whatever else, from western lower Michigan all the way up to the Keweenaw Peninsula, which is way up here. We bought an old military surplus Chevy ambulance, and with the help of a few friends, but not a lot, we did it ourselves. It took 7 trips. It was an enormous undertaking that took an immense amount of planning, and we were moving into a house that was almost uninhabitable. Our family of origin was furious with us that we were moving from West Michigan. We were leaving the grandparents, taking the grandchildren, breaking up the family, and we were forging our own path. We did it anyways. And oh yeah, did I mention it was a pandemic? So plenty of people told us that it couldn't be done. They said that my husband wouldn't find a job. He wouldn't be able to support us. We couldn't leave West Michigan with Grand Rapids and the bigger cities. We couldn't leave the rat race. We could never do it on our own. Well, we did. We were told that we couldn't live in a house bought for $40,000, that it was too disheveled. We could never succeed in fixing it up. Well, we have. They said that our kids would hate us from moving away from West Michigan, where there's a lot more people and cities and things. They would hate us for moving all the way up here to the Upper Peninsula. I think that's the farthest thing from the truth. Our kids love living here. They said that the ambulance wouldn't move our things here, that my husband didn't know what he was doing. He could never get that thing running. He could never maintain it well enough. It could never move our stuff. Oh, he did that and more. It got us here with no problems. It was incredible what he did to get us here. People said we couldn't leave our families of origin behind. Think of the grandparents, think of the siblings, think of everything, how you're breaking the family apart. How could you do such a thing? We said, too bad. We want to have our own journey, our own life. We're not doing this enmeshment, toxic family stuff anymore. See you later. They said we couldn't revitalize a farm after 50 years of neglect. I don't know. Looks like we're doing all right. We now have chickens for eggs and meat production. We have turkeys for eggs and meat. We raise hogs and we sell some. We just received a few sheep this spring who will be friends to our dairy cow, who will hopefully be arriving here shortly after she's bred. We raise a substantial amount of our own food and medicine here, and it grows every single year. I think we're doing it. So this may be the one thing that folks were correct on, and they did say that we wouldn't know how to handle the snow. Now, the Keweenaw Peninsula is the snowiest place in the continental U.S., and we do receive an incredible amount of snow. So I'll give you that one, folks. We're still trying to figure out how the heck do you do this much snow every winter, but we're doing it. And finally, people said that we couldn't have a home birth. I was pregnant at the time of planning this move. I am a VBAC. My first child was born with a cesarean section. And you know what? I had a home birth. I had my baby girl underneath a maple tree, and it was incredible. I went on to have 2 more home births in this house that I live in now, one of which was a free birth. And that's a different story. So here we are, 5 years later, plus 2 more babies for a total of 5 children. We live on this farm, and like I said, it produces a large portion of our meat, produce, and medicine. We have plenty to share. In fact, one thing that I always have is an abundance of food. You can always come knocking on my door. I have more food than I know what to do with. We own our own mechanics business out of our garage. My husband owns it. We're doing it. It supports our family. We live for ourselves outside of the rat race. We owe nobody anything, and they can't tell us what to do. It's pretty cool. Our children are thriving with homeschooling and learning to become fully formed humans who can think for themselves. And it is commented on a continuous basis whenever I'm out in public with them how extraordinary they are. And they truly are, because they are not cloistered in a public school system. I'm not knocking the system, I'm not knocking the teachers, I'm not knocking the parents who send their kids there. But I am pointing out that there are other ways that children can thrive, and mine are. So I'm not going to tell you that this was easy, because it definitely isn't. Living with conviction, intention, and purpose requires hard work, dedication, but it can be done. If you have a dream, if you want to live for yourself, if you want to make a go of it, and whatever that looks like, I want to tell you to not listen to the naysayers, because for every person who's going to encourage you, there's going to be 100 that tell you you can't do it. And I say nonsense to them. Don't listen to them. Think about these words that I'm telling you. Those people are fear mongers who wish to profit off of your smallness. They want to shrink you down, keep you afraid so you can be controlled. I want you to think big. This is the only way we're going to create a better society, stronger families, stronger people individually. We as a country are struggling. It's bad out there, and we all know it. We're hollow, miserable, and we have a fascist in the White House. Things are looking pretty rough. So what is it that burns a hole in your soul? Because that's what you could be called to be doing to make your life, your family's life, and our country and world existence better. What brings you immense joy? Real joy, not the kind that you buy in order to consume for a few minutes, just so you can go back to work, make the money, so that you can then buy the joy again. That's not real joy. I'm here to tell you that it can be done. We can build that which we dream of, that which sustains us. We can build something that can be passed down to future generations. Imagine that. Imagine if the generations that came before us were actually thinking about us in 2025 and how they could be helping to sustain and build an egalitarian society and a world that is good and pure and healthy for everyone. That is not what was happening. We should be caring for others and caring for ourselves in just the same way. That does not happen in our society. But it could if more of us were free from the shackles which tell us that we need to be small, to conform, to be controlled, because we're too afraid to be big. So my friend, whatever it is that you dream of, I'm here to tell you that yes, it can be done. When everyone around you tells you no, remember my voice, remember your flannel wearing cheerleader, and I'm telling you yes, go and give it a go. So as you embark on your journey, I send you strength, grit, wisdom, and courage. You are going to need it. There is a lot of forces that are going to work against you, and there are going to be days that are excruciating. But just as you need those words of encouragement, so do I, and that's why I pass it forward. Because I have not heard a lot of words of encouragement in my day. And I cherish those who do tell me to give it a go and to dream big. You out there who see the same potential that I do, we are of the same tribe, and I cherish each and every one of you, and I hope to give you the same wind in your sails that I need on the hardest days, because to do this work is very difficult. But I believe that it can be done and it should be done, and I do it for all of us, and especially my children. So I will end by giving you a little panoramic shot of my garden here. I'm very proud of it. It is expanding by the day, and I've put up a post of some of the pictures of what this place looked like 5 years ago. It was depressing and scary. The next door neighbors described it as scary. We moved into what was essentially a hoarder house of a very unpleasant man who drank himself to death. And it showed. We had to clean up his mess. And then with the help of a number of pigs, we cleaned up the outside space as well. So I'll do a little panoramic for you. And over the times of making videos, I'll show you more and explain more of how we do this. But today, hopefully you get the idea. So there's our back door. We'll just kind of go slowly. Lots of garlic. Lots of garlic. There's the garage that my husband works out of. These are our cedar trees we've thinned out so that we can actually have a garden. Back here is where the pigs have been over the years. You can see there's many, many different raised rows. Take a few steps back here. There's a well. We're very proud of reclaiming this well. It is now used to water the animals and the plants. We uncovered this elderberry, which was just covered in debris. We have cabbages here. Chamomile, which overwintered. There's some greens and such growing in here. More cabbages, more garlic. This is a rose trellis that we just put in the last year or so. We finished up this year. That's for my daughter. She loves flowers. So there's some small rose bushes and clematis that will grow up. This is a squash patch back here that we're just putting in for the first time this year. Some more cabbages and mustard greens, things like that. This is a dogwood that I really like that was here with all the debris. This was a trash pile, essentially, when we moved in, overgrown trash pile. And I like this dogwood, so I kept them. Different greens, carrots, and little small plants growing in here. It's early June here, so things are very small, but they're coming up. This is our bean tunnel here. You can see there's comfrey all back here. That's a good medicine of ours. Oh, and then there's a raspberry patch that we just put in. This raspberry patch volunteered this year for us, so we are trying to cultivate it for the first time and seeing how that goes. We'll come to this side of the cedar. So this is the older part of our garden. So you can see we still have a number of buildings that need to be taken down. Not really salvageable. Here's our rhubarb that's gone to seed. Some different herbs, lemon balm. Here's our greenhouse we just added this year. And then we have a number of raised beds. Asparagus is in there. This is a bean, or a pea trellis that my son really loves. More garlic because that's medicine. And then, yeah, lots of garlic in here because you really can't have enough garlic, right? So folks, whatever it is that gets you excited and that you dream of, I want you to know that you can do it. So take care, and sending love from my radical garden to yours.